what's happening. There we go. Yosh! There we go. Ikuzo. Predator Badlands. If you didn't know, Predator is one of those, let's call it legacy sci-fi titles. We're thinking something upon like Star Wars, Aliens, literally Aliens. It's in the same universe, in case we didn't realize that before. And I'll start off by saying this. The original Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the original Predator, is one of the coolest, greatest, like ultimate manliest man films you can watch, I guess. And I understand why that's like annoying, or I understand why some ladies might just be like, oh, this guy's the muscles in the jungle, guerrilla warfare. But there's underneath all of that, right? You have your Schwarzenegger is going, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then you got like the ultimate handshake, man. My guys in high school, that was the shit right there. Dylan! But, man, I fucking love Predator. But obviously, we're not in the Expendables, you know, like testosterone hyped up machismo Arnold Schwarzenegger generation that we used to be. Some people might know that JoJo's Bizarre Adventures went from like super burly Arnold Schwarzenegger men to like, you know, super twinked out fucking main characters. I'm looking at you, Jorno, but that's all good. Don't worry. That's what Araki wanted, and that's what we got. And it's also a hint of how things change in the universe, right? There was an era where these people were like, oh yeah, let's go fucking be army men in the jungle and blah, blah, blah. And while that has a special place in my heart, like, while I still watch that film and look at it and go like, oh man, it's good. It's obviously not 1980, 1990 or whatever, whenever that movie came out. So when things, you know, become big, mainstream, corporate, Disney buys out Fox, and obviously Disney people are gonna start putting in their little fucking fingers inside the storyline, to which I understand. I've seen certain people, I think Critical Drinker is what I'm thinking about, how he's just not really having a good time with what they've done to the Predator lore slash universe slash world, whatever. To which I will humbly reply, homie, AVP is a thing, man. We lost that battle a long ass time ago. And especially with the last Predator film, not Prey, but the one with Michael Keegan Key and the comedians all inside that army camp base. Again, they tried to recreate the campiness and the brotherhood camaraderie from the original Predator film, but they don't have Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the big guys anymore. That's not really the generation, unless you look at The Rock or whatever. But to make that entry like super comedied out already from that moment, homie, we did not have a stable foundation for what a Predator should be, can be, would be, right? We've had one super awesome film and then a couple of like sequels that did stuff to it. So when we are doing something different, right? Granted, some people might not be super about it, and I understand. But let me tell you, from the beginning, we've understood the Yautja, I think that's what they call them, the big alien guys, to be a single unit that values domination, like hunting. They have to be the ultimate predator in order to be accepted into that clan or universe, whatever. And we've seen hints of this before. AVP specifically has the whole shtick of like, oh, I can't go back unless I become like a warrior or I have my trophy to take back. And that's common knowledge for the Predator fans. So to kind of take all of that and do your best to actually give the predator a story, right? While some people are like, the whole point of the predator is that he's this mysterious like monster thingy that's hunting everybody else. You shouldn't, why would you make him the main character if you're gonna like devalue how mysterious the predator is? And I understand that too. I really do. I miss Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. I love that film. But what we're getting here is something more. And I don't know if that's just something we don't want to look at, or if that's something that we just decide not to accept anymore because of how shitty Disney has been treating its properties, its you know, IPs, intellectual properties, and how like bad the writing in terms of like agenda of whatever they're trying to push has been. I completely understand that, and you already know that I'm on your side when it comes to how stupid Disney has been with its general treatment of men and families. And honestly, this is no exception. However, there is lessons to be learned from specific characters that do display a toxic masculinity. I can't even say that right because I don't believe in it. I believe in it. I know it makes sense. And it's what we get here. Let me break it down super simply. The Yautja are a clan tribe. Like these ancient warriors of hunters. Think of the Aztec, think of the Mayans, think of my legacy, the Mayans and the Mayans, my bad. And like, think of how at least I look at the history, because it's my history, but I look at like, oh, these people, this is how they used to live their lives. They used to hunt. They used to be very savage in terms of like, if any other clan gets near our area, we will nullify them on the spot because we are the top dogs and blah, 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 blah. So when I see those clan-like beliefs, like those clan-like requirements imply to the ultimate warriors in space, I do believe it. It does make sense. Maybe you want to like extend them a bit of a ladder to be like, okay, let's just make it more sense, but it makes sense specifically for what we're doing with this film. Because in the beginning, we have a quick glimpse as to what caused the main character to start his journey. And it's very basic, like in terms of like, it's very to the books of like, oh yeah, we've seen this a million times. It's someone's trying to prove themselves so they can be like, oh, look at me now, I'm better than I'm better than what you threw out last week, you know, like I am what I said I was gonna do. And that's all great and that's all fun, and let me tell you, the action, the scenes, when you actually have the Yautja just freaking going in, it's really fucking cool. But that's not what this is about. This story, simply put, is a warrior exiled from his clan. A warrior who has learned to lose. A warrior who is grieving without knowledge of how to grieve. And it's in this journey of discovery, of challenge, of hunting, where the real work begins. Again, he's an alien that shouldn't have emotions because he's this big monster and he's supposed to be blah, 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 blah. Ah, it's the worst thing ever. But everything that they've put, he's like a runt. He's shorter, he's smaller. You can see him on the size comparisons to his older brother and his father. He's like tiny, right, compared to them. Normally the predators are like freaking huge and they destroy things left and right. And while he still has that superior strength, clearly he has always been treated like less than. His own father, the leader of the clan, looks at him and goes like, well, this is the weakness. This is our weakness. We need to kill it so we can be stronger than what this brings to our family, or quote unquote the clan. And sure, that's where we start seeing Disney being Disney, you know, putting in your toxic masculinity, putting in your shitty father vibes, putting in your toxic masculinity of a boy who's trying to live up to daddy's expectations, but obviously will never really get there because that's not what he should be fighting for. Rather than focusing on the negativity that is being thrown to him from this clan, the wiser, stronger mind would learn how to accept this criticism, look at the opposing party and tell them, you know what, you got your opinions and I got mine, and then figure out where we go from there. So it is a beautiful, crazy, fun, exciting journey to see this hero, right? This hero's journey of a normally one-dimensional character. Arrive, kill, scare. But we see the complexities, we see the humanization of it. And again, I understand that's what some people are not cool with, because they just want the big bad monster. And while it can just be that, I honestly respect and like what they've done with this title. Because you take the monster, you take the warrior, and you show how capable he really is. My favorite scene almost is like right at the beginning when he lands and he freaking strips down all his equipment and he's like, all right, let's go. Let's see what we got. I need to freaking make sure I can handle myself in this. Like, it's go time. Ah, so cool. And that, I was gonna say, man, that Yacha is ready for action. The question becomes, why are we fighting? Papa says, bring home the trophy, which is like this unkillable big monstrosity thing, to which he says, nah, I can kill that. But it's in the journey to get there where, yes, we have a little bit of comedic relief, you know, again, something that maybe normally doesn't fit with the Predator series, but again, we had Michael Keegan-Key and comedians in a Predator movie already, dude. I don't understand what the fuck you're complaining about. You throw a shitty, like, cutesy character in the mix, but obviously it's for a reason. And let me be real, I already knew. I saw that thing, I saw the story, I was like, wait a minute. You got some sniffers in here? Damn, okay, I already know what's going on. And so by the time we get to the end game, by the time we realize what it is that we're actually fighting against, and by the time the Yautja has lost basically everything, his weapons, his companion, the little robot girl that's pretty annoying, but she's kind of cute at the same time. She talks a lot, yes, I know. But at the same time, it's nice. It's nice to know there's a back and forth and that you're not stuck there by yourself. And that becomes another good point of this film. One of the lines that the robot lady drops is like, yeah, of course I could survive by myself. But who would want to do that? And it just stops, and it just lets that line just float in the air. And you start thinking about it and you're like, yeah, I see what you're doing. All right, let it in. And it's great, man. It is really great. Again, maybe I'm just putting too much of myself into this character. He is the shorter, runtier group of the clan or whatever. He is a freaking badass. He is fucking capable. One of his favorite lines to say is, "You give up too easily," and I'm just like, ah. And you see this character, literally a character, no longer a monster, not a one-dimensional being that's just there to hunt and destroy, but a character, a fully developed character, start to learn, start to accept understanding. And you get a whole interaction between the robot, who is a software developed companion robot. What that means is that, yes, this robot is essentially a non-walking, because she has no legs, psychiatrist strapped to his back. So it would make sense that from the very beginning, this robot would try to find the humanity in the monster. And that's why this works. That's why it makes sense. It's not just the fact that this guy lands in high feelings. It's the fact that he lands with a purpose, and then the environment, the robot, the everything that's trying to kill them starts to create a new image in his universe. And by the time we finish our therapy session with the robotic girl, and we have a nice little discussion about wolves. Sorry, I really enjoyed it. And the fact that the only English word that the Yautjas pronounces in this film is wolf. Wolf, baby. Fuck yeah. 2025, it's my year. And yeah, you get a cool lesson about what it means to be an alpha. You already know the toxic masculinity will have you hear alpha and go, yeah, I'm gonna fight people, which is exactly what the Yautja says. But the definition as given from the Brainiac robot is that the alpha's job is to protect the pact. It's not a position of aggression, it's a position of caring. The wolf, baby. And you see that, and this guy just becomes next level. Again, stripped from all his equipment, having to find resources from the land itself, that we've dropped hints of like what he's been learning throughout his journey to get to the point of him suiting up means tapping into the land's resources to go finish the fight. And it's so fucking good, man. It is so good. Yeah. So, for the record, this is part of Disney/Fox's biggest tentative to keep on making the Predator and the Alien franchise get bigger, so then they can eventually come back to AVP. Because yes, this is the same universe. That robot lady comes from straight out of the Aliens universe, and obviously the Predator's universe is represented in this film. So I won't spoil the ending, but I will say that final fight, the fight, the reason we're stuck on this planet is so freaking badass. It's not just like, I don't know, it's not just like superheroes throwing people around, but there's actual choreography based on like how these warriors move. And it looks great, and I don't think I've seen something like that in the Predator's universe. And when that film splashes its end credits, like its title screen at the very end, people clapped, man. People were hyped throughout the whole film. So when you tell me that this film is shit because it doesn't follow the normal Predator stuff, when it's like, oh, the stupid animal insert character, the stupid comedy, the fucking annoying robot lady, you're allowed to your own opinion, sir. But I walked out of 2 movie theaters where people were freaking clapping their asses off because Predator Badlands is badass. Dylan! Yeah, so Yeah, that's really where it's at. I'm genuinely surprised by how much I enjoy this. Again, it's probably a lot of what's the word? Imprinting on the character, or was it like putting your own feelings into that guy? But honestly, it's if this is the refresher that we're supposed to expect, then we could do a lot worse. We really, really could. Lilo and Stitch, I'm looking at you. But hey, Predators, do we like it? Do we know? do we know about the originals? You know, you just at the end of the day, it's up to you. Please, go watch the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Go watch this Predator, and you will see a completely different film. And I understand that. But again, I love this film in the past. It did what it did. It had a great ass story, and it got to the chopper, damn it. And now we're here. Now we have new things to look at. New weapons, new characters, new motivations. And dude, the possibility is there. You could still have your scary ass Predator in the future. But right now, we're doing something. And hey man, I'm actually kind of excited about it. So, let me know. I know anybody that knows Predator or Aliens, please give it a shot. I know you're more than welcome to not like it. You don't have to listen to my opinions. Well, please listen to my opinions. Just you don't have to accept my opinions. But I think we got something cooking in here. And yes, I know Disney being Disney, it's pretty much at the end of the day, we're still pushing the idea of like, oh, dysfunctional families suck. And if you need to find your own found family, then you can go find your own found family. Fuck your parents. Okay. Fair enough. For now, let's just turn off our brains and enjoy the story of a warrior that became the alpha wolf. Woo! Yeah, I like it a lot. I really did like it a lot. So I will try to sneak in another time in the future weeks, because I need to watch that final fight again. It's so good. It's so good. I want more. But hey, that's not all there is to it. I heard you like to fight. So we're gonna make you think. Think like a soldier. A soldier of the mind. That's right, baby. They say fighting is like 30% strength. Like you train your body. Okay. The rest of it, because if you don't have discipline, if you don't have brain power, if you can't conduct yourself in a manner that is going to reach for a goal, then you've already lost the battle. So, at the end of World War II, when the Allies, Americans, Britain, blah, blah, capture Hitler's second in command, this next highest level of authority for the Nazi party, we get sent one Remy Malek. He's a therapist, and his job is to shrink/interview all the Nazi party leaders, because you have at least 5 of them all round up into one prison, sorry. And his job is to get as much information out of all of them, because our new goal after the war, after destroying cities, after launching the nukes, after fucking destroying everything that we've known in that period of time, what needs to be done next is to prove to the world that this was a crime. This was a terrible action caused by terrible people. And the world needs to see this so it never happens again. Powerful words, powerful message, powerful like goals, like a reason to just do your fucking best, man. If it is for the sake of preventing another war that would destroy as much as this second war, then that is the goal that must be done. However, power corrupts, and unlimited power corrupts unlimitedly, or whatever you want to say, whatever the quote. But it is a slippery slope, right? You are a person who has a job to do, and when you get there, you almost start thinking about, well, why am I here? At least the human consciousness and its lizard brainness goes, what do I get out of this? And that's dangerous. That is a dangerous way to approach any situation, especially a situation that involves the cooperation of multiple parties, nations, minds, and hopes. When you start thinking, what do I get out of this? You're unconsciously like screwing everyone else over. And that's fine. You could do that when you're trying to, I don't know, get first place in a running competition, when you're trying to shoot hoops in basketball. You could do that. You could. But there is a time and place for selfishness, at least in my humble opinion. Times to really say, hey man, I deserve that raise. I fucking worked my ass off and these are the results. Give me my money. But when it comes to the good of the universe, for a new hope, Star Wars, when it comes to providing a light in darkness, it shouldn't be a light covered by selfishness. So we start seeing how this shrink, he calls himself a shrink, not my words, his words, the psychiatrist starts to really get into it, trying to really figure out, who are these people? Why did they act this way? How did we get to a place where all of this genocide was okay? How did we get to a point where people woke up in the morning every day for years and said it's time to turn on the ovens? That's not a joke. That is a fucking serious thing that happened. And it's sad because in this pursuit of knowledge, in this desire for more power, control over his opposition, you start to see the kid lose himself. It starts easy. They say the easiest way to get somebody to like you is to ask them for a favor. Hey, can you take this note to my wife? I miss her. And that's how it starts. If any of you out there have seen something like Death Note, the whole appeal of Death Note is that you have these two opposing minds. One who's trying to provide its ultimate justice, who has seen the disgusting, the darkness, and is certain that this is the way. Second Star Wars reference. This is the way. And the other of a brilliant mind who has been raised to enforce a certain set of rules, laws, order. And it's where we get the chaotic radicalism confronting the structured order, that Death Note really becomes this cat and mouse game. And that's, I would assume, is the most appealing part of Death Note in itself. Or who knows, maybe it's a William Dafoe as Ryuk for the Netflix live service version or whatever. So we get a lot of this, right? Obviously, Hitler's second in command was a smart ass guy. Obviously, the reason Hitler and the Nazi Party were able to gain power in Germany is because they had charisma. And that could be a huge amount of like avenues that represent charisma, right? Simply put, at the end of the war, at the end of the First War, World War, America treated Germany like shit. They forced them to pay reprimands that they would never have money to afford, and they treated them like crap. So much that there was a person that said enough is enough, and my people deserve better than this American treatment. And that was the rise of the Nazi Party. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? One of the quotes closing up this film is a simple statement by the man. The reason the psychiatrist really played along with those people and tried to like get buddy so he can get information at the end of the day was so he can write a book. He was so focused on the idea that like, I'm gonna write this book, it's gonna sell because it's gonna be me and the Nazis, and people are gonna be curious about what made the Nazis so different from us. What made the Nazis the enemy when the Americans were the heroes. And at the end of the story, Rami Malek understands there is no difference. Humanity is humanity. Tribes will fight tribes. Warriors will stand up to protect. Alphas will be there to hold their loved ones. What matters is how far we're willing to go. How much destruction is enough for someone to feel satisfied, to feel justified. How much is retribution worth when the whole world is blind? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And it's real, it's true. Because one of the final statements in this film is the author, psychiatrist of the book, stating that if you really think these people will return wearing even scarier outfits, looking even crazier, like even radical, then you are dead wrong. They're just like us. We're all human. We're all capable of disgusting actions, terrible things. It's just a matter of circumstances and why we do what we do. So, solutions. Peace among mankind. That is my new favorite quote to throw out there in the universe. How? When? Why? I believe things have been as close as they've ever been to relapsing into a terrible place in our timeline. And it's by the grace of God, honestly, in my humble opinion, that we have not slipped into that regime. But I see what happens around me. I see my people getting pulled from the streets. I see people getting shot on the weekends, and I understand why it's happening. It's not a shock. It's depressing and it's disappointing, but it's not a shock. Because while we have an oppressive mind trying to belittle half of its constituents, we will never find peace. So this came out for a specific reason, right? It's been a long time since we've seen any World War II films. Call of Duty hasn't done World War II since Call of Duty World War II. That's in 2018 by Sledgehammer Games. And we've been past that. We were past that. America finished the war and we were past that. So where are we now? At the end of the day, we will always have those capabilities. It is within our nature. It is within our tribe's descendants that we can always become the savages that we were born, raised as. But that's why it requires more than just pride, more than ego, self-ego. Ego isn't a terrible thing. Ego, simply put, is the idea that you can still hold yourself, your representation of who you are, in any turbulence, any savage situation. Your ego can pull you out of that, and you can reclaim your identity. But when your life becomes your ego, when you live to expand this reach, this ideal, this dream, this vision, this sort of legacy that you believe you deserve, then what are the prices that you're willing to pay? So, all I will say at this point is we fought. We fought so hard, and we weren't the best people. We've done terrible things to the universe. We've done terrible things to people that did not ask for destruction, flames, and we will continue doing things like this. The question that I need everybody to answer is, why do we do it? And who said it that it's okay to do this? And will we comply? Or do we believe in something more? Humanity is our greatest superpower. And I truly believe that. Because without a heart, you'll never live, baby. You're already a dead man walking. And it's in these dead minds that the real danger comes from. Now, I've been a male for about 30 years. It's about to be 30 years. I'm fairly excited about what I'm doing with my life. I enjoy my time. I've really lived enough, right? Obviously, there's a huge list of things that I could possibly do that I honestly think I'd be good at, but I don't really need that, you know? If the universe and the Lord decides that, hey man, throw that guy a bone, and I get to complete like my side quests, my little extra missions that I would enjoy, then God bless it. God, you know, so be it. I will be there. But it's a dangerous place to be, in a very dangerous mind, when you can't let go of this inclination that you deserve something, that everything that comes your way is a God-given right. And I don't want to make this about a certain group or individual or whatever, because there are conflicts on every spectrum of the scale. But it bothers me, it really does, that certain historical elements or certain legacy titles still believe in old ways, or still deep inside their roots, their hearts, the way they were raised, the way they were, you know, attacked as little ones, kind of like implemented these thoughts, even if they didn't ask for it. It really stems from our historic past, and that's sad, man. I honestly hope that we'd be past that. But obviously you can't get past anything if you don't actually talk about it. Covering something up is not the same as accepting the status quo. And for that, we have one Christy film. Christy is the original woman boxer. Back in the day, when things were picking up in the boxing arena, MMG, or Vegas and stuff like that, there was a young lady who literally stepped into the ring and changed the world. That's great, man. It's incredible to see her story of like how she started and how she kept on just putting in the effort and how she just kept on winning and getting out there, right? She was unbeatable for most of her career. People really idolized her because she was the new hot thing. But she didn't do it alone, per se, right? Very early on, we're introduced to I don't even know his name, but a main male lead character. And from the beginning, you start to pick up that there's a loss of empathy somewhere inside of there. And I don't know if many people picked it up from the beginning, but very, very early on in the beginning, the first time they meet, her future coach's initial reaction is to tell the trainer guy to break her rib. As in, get her out of here. She doesn't deserve to be a boxer. You break her rib and you show her that she's nothing compared to the man boxing universe or whatever. Pride, ego, control. So, when one Chrissy doesn't back down, when she gets punched in the rib and she turns around and knocks the guy out, that's when he sees value in this project. And it's hard for me to really express what I feel, because when females go, yeah, we're gonna go hang out with the bear, it hurts. It does. But it doesn't hurt because it's oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, you're I'm worthless. Oh, I'm not as good as a bear. It hurts because I understand where that's coming from. Where we have past experiences of abuse. And yes, in 2025, and I promise you, this happens. I know people. Females can abuse the males. Females have abused males. Whether it be physical, whether it be mental. This happens. It is no longer a gender issue. But understanding that we came from these moments, a mostly men-dominated environment, right? Where the men are pulling the strings to have certain fights happen, where the men are the ones in charge of blah, 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 blah. Obviously. And just how easy it is to take advantage of people when you feel that you are what deserves the final call. You are top dog, not alpha. You're top dog, and of course I'm gonna get this revenue because I'm the one that found this Christine girl. And she's my fighter. I'm her trainer. To the fact that this guy legit has to tie down this girl, as in marry her. The coach marries Christine, and it doesn't come from love. It doesn't come from a place of acceptance. At least that's the way I understood it, because there's so many moments where this guy opens his mouth and I just get like salty, like tense, man. Like because I know where it's coming from, and it's not a good place, and it sucks because that exists in this universe. I've seen it. I've heard of it. So to think that, yes, the ladies, maybe it's a joke to them, maybe it's a joke to them. God, sometimes I hope it is, but then that would imply certain other things. But if it's not a joke, even if it is a joke, the fact that they feel this way about their counterpart, the literal opposite sex of who you are, and we can't try to find that common ground, is what destroys me. Because yeah, we see the generation that we're at. We see how people don't really want to put efforts into relationships. We see how certain online communities have really robbed that sense of like, let me go out and find somebody I can believe in, talk to, or whatever, meet. It's changed us, right? It's really degraded us, and then honestly, in my opinion, it feels like we've lost a sense of humanity, a part of us that was given to us by nature, by grace, by beauty, and we've decided to like knock it out, or like to get rid of it, because it's not, doesn't hold value to us in this generation. So this is the story of a young lady portrayed by Sydney Sweeney. We'll get back to her in a second. And it shows her rise, man. It shows her getting in there, fighting, putting in effort, raising through the ranks. And I'll be real, she's kind of a dick. I certain parts kind of got me going like, why you gotta be like this? and she's called out by multiple characters in the story as well. It's like, yo, you don't gotta be an asshole. But, you know, we love a good underdog story, right? And in this time where a female boxer was dominating the sport and everybody was there for the ride, and we have this young lady, this cute young lady in pink trunks, you know, boxing. Her whole shtick is pink. She gets a pink BMW. She was the original Barbie, homie. That's the original Barbie right there, but she boxes. It's incredible. It's good to see. It's fun. It's like a joyride. It's a wild ride. It's like oh, we're living the dream, baby. Like, we just did it. We did it. But every dream has its price. Nothing in this universe is free. And when certain truths are being exposed, and when we come to terms with what is actually happening in the grand scale of things, the things that aren't shown to the public, the things that are kept secret from the supporters, the things that would never have seen the light had it not been for the extremeness of and absurdity of the situation, then who knows if we would have ever heard about her story. And I can only imagine, right? Like, as a male for 30 years, I can only imagine how terrifying that is for ladies or females. And honestly, even now, just the idea as a male to even go out and be like, hey, how's it going? Do you have any things going on? Or like, what are you up to? Like, any fun plans or what's going on? If you're at a bar or whatever, right? And to kind of like in the back of your brain be like, this chick is gonna be like, look at this loser. Yeah, oh my God, he's so stupid. Like, he's trying to F me out right now. Yeah, That's kind of where we're at. That's never happened to me because I got charisma. But you know what I mean? Like it's really weird to think that that's where we're at. In a universe where Adam and Eve are supposed to be fruitful and provide to the universe, we have bickering. We have malicious intent. We have inconsistencies. We have ghosting. We have what's the new shit? Fucking ghosting. I don't know, whatever. Text max ghost. I don't know. We have games when all I've ever hoped for is truth, respect, a little bit of quirkiness, because that keeps spices the variety of life. But it's really difficult to find something that actually feels real, and I think that's where this is all coming from. The fact that we aren't as accepting of others in this generation, and the fact that we're so quick to judge / blast anybody who's remotely outside of our spectrum of acceptance is depressing, is sad. But I get it, because when I see what this young lady had to go through, and when I see just how close to not making it she was, I feel scared too. I feel scared that, or I worry too. I worry that we've gone too far, or we're no longer at a place where we can learn to be good to each other. And again, I don't want to make this about like races or peoples or whatever, but obviously certain people have certain stigmas about certain types of families / certain types of people / certain types of history, and certain types of areas in the state that still were raised from certain kinds of mindsets. That's as vague as I'm gonna leave it for us. Please understand. And that sucks. That really fucking sucks. That I've seen this disdain for humanity. In this year alone, I've seen how disgusting we can be, how disgusting some of us truly are. But I still believe that's coming from a shitty place, meaning that there is one fucking asshole who wants to share a certain emotion that is not beneficial to the country he's supposed to protect and serve. Because that is the fear. That is the biggest disappointment. The fact that you could look someone in their face and tell them, I love you, te quiero mucho más, and you could still destroy them if you're not you. So where we go from here, right? How we choose to accept the story that needs to be told. We need to know just how depravable things can become. We've seen World War II. Let us not fall in that temptation again. And that's all I really want to say. Sydney Sweetie, Sydney Sweeney has a lot on her shoulders. And shut up, that's not a fucking joke about her size or whatever. She has been praised for representing a certain image. She has been dragged through the trenches for looking like a certain image. And if you remember, at the beginning of this year or in the past year, I didn't really have anything for her in terms of like, she's cool, she's shit. I didn't want to judge her based on what everybody was saying. That's just not how I operate. So after 3, maybe 4 films of seeing this young lady perform in films, seeing her not be great, and seeing her slowly build up to more honest roles, more serious roles, to get to a point where she can sell the idea of a professional boxing woman who's still adorable. I'm saying that lightly. Don't get mad. I'm saying that lightly. The fact that she can still punch someone out, knock someone out, and still show some kind of empathy, that's kind of a big deal, specifically for guys, right? Because that's kind of like what, if we're the testosteroned out motherfuckers who need a moment of peace and quiet and just meditation for the soul, why would we want anything but someone who can actually listen to us and or understand us without judging us, without being like, oh, this guy feels this way? Wow, I'm gonna tell my girlfriends. Without like turning around and like gossiping to the rest of our fucking crew. Why? When? Where did that go? Where did... Yes, privacy, but healthy privacy. It's not... If it's not something that's going to destroy your relationship or kill you guys, why wouldn't you just talk it over with each other instead of bringing in other people to like have opinions of something so minuscule? If things were to hit a very drastic point and people started to get physically hurt and emotionally like bothered, yes, you can reach out for someone for help. But there still has to be that understanding between the relationship if both parties are willing to work together to say, hey, you said this and it made me feel this way and I didn't like that. Can we work this through, or can we work this out? Because I do not want to feel this way in the future. Maybe. Cindy has come a long way. I'll be the first to say that. I honestly heard what the internet said about her and her looks and why she was popular all of a sudden, and I said no. That's not the reason why she's gonna be in my vocabulary. Seeing her perform, and yes, I watch a lot of late night, like I like watching interviews and stuff. Seeing her interview with Kurt Colbert, and yes, seeing her respond to that interview by saying, quote, I believe that when I have something to say, I will talk about it, end quote, does bring respect. Because again, this young lady has the universe looking at her. Half of the universe is telling her, oh, you're an icon, you're a beauty icon. Oh, you represent everything that we represent. You're so cute, you're perfect. And then the other half is disappointed in her for representing a certain image. And that can't be easy. That can't be healthy. That is almost the biggest down slope or like the negativity or negative point of being a public figure. The fact that everybody and their mother has an opinion. So here's mine. This young lady apparently got her parents to pay for her acting, and yes, she comes from a family, and she comes from the South, and she comes from a probably, most likely, grandparents and uncles and aunts that were raised to think a certain way, maybe even believe certain things. But so far, this young lady has came out and portrayed roles that do more than just support that message. She's been put through the ringer in multiple roles, and seeing her accept those roles, and for this specific case, she actually knows kickboxing. She's taken kickboxing from a younger age. So when she came into this movie, she was already knew a couple of moves or whatever. So already there, it's like, this chick is talented. She can sing. She sings in that Americana movie, Americana. And honestly, the fact that she hasn't like imploded, you know what I mean? Like going like, oh, you guys suck. Everyone has an opinion, and you suck, and you suck, and I'm my own person, blah, 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 blah. The fact that she hasn't had a meltdown, I respect her. I respect her so much. And I did not think that this is where I would be in the year of the Lord 2025. But she's kind of a cool person, dude. And I'm glad that I'm able to say that, not because of what the fucking internet said, not because of what certain roles she had, or not because of what image she represents, but the fact that she's been showing up to these movies, and I've been seeing her act her ass off. I've been seeing her reflect. I've been seeing her just really portray important roles. Maybe not important to everybody in the universe, but I see the value in it. And I think I see what she's coming from. And sure, of course, that could be me imprinting or implementing or whatever, forcing my own beliefs upon her. And that is the whole negative point of being a public figure. Everybody wants you to be a certain thing because that's what they want. But I'm choosing to believe that this lady has hope and humanity, and I think she wants to make a difference. And I believe in her. At least for now. I know the world is a big, beautiful place. The world is a scary, fucking disgusting hole. Yeah, at any point, anything can change. Someone could snap. Things could change. Groups can change. So circles, cliques, people can influence anybody if they choose to kind of keep associating with those circles. But for now, I do believe in what she's doing, and I hope, for the love of God, that she's doing good. I'm pretty sure she's doing great, because she's a fucking actress, and she's like in the top of her game, and she's just had an interview with Stephen Colbert, which is fucking cool, and an interview with those GQ people, which again, but the fact that she doesn't explode at the idea of what people think of where she comes from or what she's supposed to represent says a lot about her character. And like she says, when she's ready to talk about something that serious, I don't think she'll shy away from the message. So I'll say I'm looking forward to it. And I'll say I'm curious about your next move, Sydney. I won't pay attention because I got a life, but I wish you the best. Godspeed. So, a part of me really feels for these scenarios. When I was younger, I obviously did a lot of shit I'm not proud of and all that shit. But I remember meeting someone at a restaurant. She was like this kind of quirky, funky girl. she had a bit of an acne problem, but she had a cute soul, you know what I mean? And she got to me. And one day she invited me to go hang out with her friends. I think it was like Christmas event. It was Halloween or something like that. It was like after work and all that. And we go out and we go hang out and we're chilling. And her fiance's there. She had a fiance. Or at least a fiance. And I'm the type of person that I know what it feels like. So I would never want to kind of spread that kind of hate to other people. So if you tell me, oh, they have a significant other or they're here with somebody or something like that, I back off. I'm not that person. I don't like to mess with that things. And like, at least I try to, right? Like, at least I try to. Because this guy, essentially, again, certain people come from certain families and they're taught certain things by certain ancestors. So when this guy, who I feel, right? At this point, I'm just imprinting all my whatever emotions to this guy. It's been years. Who I feel was born with a silver spoon, who was always handed things to him like a little baby, who has never known like necessity. And he starts making jokes about how he's never done it with her. And it's like, you know, the type of person that's like, oh, it's a joke. But it's like, why the fuck would you bring that up? And I believe the quote was, or something like, oh, it's not like we can't because we don't have sex, or like we're waiting till we're married till we have sex. But he says it in a very negative tone. And that lights me the fuck up in terms of like, this ain't it, chief. She deserves better. Long story short, by the end of the night, she's fairly, and she's kind of like laid out in the grass and outside the apartment. And she was a lightweight. She was a really tiny girl. I understood that she probably just needed escapism for that night. And I go outside and I pick her up. I pick her up and I carry her to the house. And she's holding on to me and she says, I wish you were my boyfriend. And I had to put her down. And to this day, I think of her. Not because I needed her, not because I wanted something, but because I worry about her and her relationship. and what this asshole was capable of. If he was capable of blurting out bullshit in front of guests just because one man showed up and he was intimidated, she deserves better. And that's what I worry about. I see a universe where people get into situationships, and because things are going well or because their life is 2% easier, it's okay. This is okay. This is fine. Everything's burning in the background and this is fine. And you know, obviously, like, it's not my fucking relationship. I left that restaurant years ago. I've never talked to her since, but in the back of my brain, I will never forget that and what that meant. And if that was her call for help, or if that was anything, but that wasn't my job, nor was it my responsibility. So I put her down in her bed, and I turned around, I excused myself from the party, I looked the guy in the eyes, and I walk away. And yeah, that's life. So at the end of the day, know who you're with. Know who you're talking to. Do not take words at face value when their actions prove more. The world is a dangerous place. The world can be a scary ass place. But I also see the beauty in what it is, what it could be, if we just knew better, if we learned better, if we understood more, if we were capable of compassion and understanding just how much time would be saved from the stupid arguments, fights, the disappointments, the miscommunications. I'm not crazy. I know that it's not that simple to convince the universe to, like, you know, calm the fuck down and be cool with each other. But we've done it before. At a time where we saw the darkest that humanity had to offer, in moments where we lost hope multiple times, we made it through. But we're not the only ones that survived. And it's up to those who will live today, it's up to those who believe in tomorrow, to fight for what is right. To fight not for yourself, but for your fellow man. To become the alpha you're meant to be. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your movies of the week. Very cool films, very cool films. I really do love movies. I really do. And Chainsaw Man honestly just rekindled, like, my belief in movies. Not because Chainsaw Man itself is that good as a film, but because the author, Kishimoto, or whatever his name is, really brought it to my attention. And it's not a waste of time. That me choosing to learn something every week is not a waste of time. And I'm ready. So, if you like that, if you like anything that we do around here, it is your boy, EXP626, wishing you a bomb-ass weekend. It is Friday night. I'm about to hit the gym so I can be ready to go to Anime Pasadena tomorrow. That's happening. And a very beautiful, wonderful mañana. Pero until then, hasta la próxima. Chao. Mátane. You. He's doing it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. You can talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. You can talk the talk, but you won't walk the walk. Love you. Bye. Ja. Mátane.